will say that no child should be using any tobacco product. We are going to be taking action very soon, enforcement action, to try to address situations where we've seen products marketed to children and to kids.
Hello, let me just say I don't like either of you.
Well, that's understandable.
Well, hello. And how the hell are you? What the hell is going on? At the last minute, the computer decided to update the camera, and I had to restart my computer. There I go. That was doing all sorts of weird shit with my face. But anyway, hello and welcome and hello to our show. And I see there's people here. Addy was the first, and he was celebrating that he got here before Mallory did. But then Mallory showed up, and Michael showed up, and there's people here. So that's good. It's good to know that Kevin and I are not wasting all of our time on the interwebs talking to the show. But as you can see, the framing of my screen is now less than happy. I don't like it, but I will figure it out. I don't want to deal with it right now, though. So we'll just we'll put up with it. You guys can see my Kiss Rock and Roll Over T-shirt, and the Chupacabra hat is tonight's selection of garb. But hey, Kevin is here, and I'll get to make fun of Kevin's framing as well, because he only wants to show you this much of his face. And if you move too fast, your computer, your virtual screen is fucking up your frame rate, buddy.
There, that's better, right?
Yeah, that's better.
How's our hairlines doing?
Hey, I was going to ask you. I even put it on the show notes that you were going bald.
You got that little thing going. I don't really.
I got the widow's peak. Going on right here.
Peak. Yeah.
But then I did also go and
I
had the girl.
I think
girl cut my hair yesterday.
I think we ought to maybe let the audience decide if we should go see who is this fucking retarded.
I don't know which retard are you talking about. There's a whole bunch of retards that we can talk about.
Oh, the NTH hair clinic.
Oh yeah, well that tweet, it will be featured later on in the show.
I think the audience should decide whether or not we need hair transplants or not. That way we know to make an appointment with them and have a consultation and let them show the science, and we'll move on. So, yeah.
Maybe
Keep sticking a needle in my head.
We'll look at it later. It's in the notes. I promise. I'm not shorting you, Kevin. I promise. So, Kevin, at the very end of last week's show, our very good friend Phil the Rodent did update us on a story.
He did, yes, he did.
That was pretty. I gotta go pin. I have to go pin to my profile. I am pinning. Of some pretty, dastardly things that were going on. And this week, I did take an opportunity for a moment to spend a second or two tweeting about said issue.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty dastardly. So I'm going to spend just a second at the beginning, since we ended the last show with the same story. I really don't want to spend a whole lot of time, but I'll spend a minute or two because there's video, Kevin.
Yeah, I love video.
There's video. and I actually took a moment. I took a moment to take some still shots out of the video.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the video here, and as you can see.
Stop, Haley, stop. Yeah, everyone stop. Just stop.
I got to go over here first and start it because it started itself. Now, to be clear, the woman voice in the background, I mean, we don't know what happened before this video starts. But I do hear a woman who is not being held down by police calling somebody a pussy. Now, most police officers are not going to appreciate that. But let's initiate. Let's start this. Okay.
Just stop. Just stop.
So,
Just stop. Just stop. Just stop.
So there's at least 4 cops that they've passed the video around. Oh, there it is. I heard it. Let's make sure I don't talk over that again.
Just stop, Haley. Stop. Yeah,
I'm telling him to get
everyone
back.
stop. Just stop.
I'm recording.
Okay, so in the background here, you see this guy that says public safety, and then in between, there's 2 guys in front of him. There's the person that they're questioning, and then another police officer so this is like a perp sandwich.
Yes.
Because there's 2 cops, and the meat in the middle is the perp. In addition to this police officer and this other one over here that you can see the shadow over there. So that's at least 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6. The girl counted for us. 6.
Why?
So they're cuffing the guy.
What do you do?
Now he's resisting a little bit. He doesn't want to put his hands behind his back.
Why?
Now he's turning because he heard a woman who had a high pitched voice, maybe worried that so he's turning.
Why?
Now this female police officer here, I'm giving you the play-by-play, Kevin. She does seem to interpose herself between the camera and the action that's going on in the background here. So she's acting as a pick or a screen right here, to use some sports ball terms.
Why?
So again, she took his back. Down he goes. So now that's 2 cops taking him down, but there's another cop here and another one on the left. So that's right. So then the blue. Now there's 3 cops actively holding this one guy down.
For his own good, Patrick.
And then there goes the female police officer. This is a different female police officer. There were 2.
You see the public safety thing
standing again in front of the camera. Yeah. So as you can see, they've got him down. He's on his belly. There's 3 cops. Yeah. So now there's 3 cops there, 4, 5, and over here in the background, 6, 7. Now she's going to come around. So as you can see, there she's again. This body cam person is blocking the view. All right. Now look, this cop here in blue. I want to draw your attention to where his left hand is,
because he looks like a nice guy.
So the left hand is right on the guy's throat. You see that? Now you see this hand here. He's pulling it back. You see that? All right. Bam. Did you see that, Kevin?
I did.
Bam.
Bam.
Let's go back again. Let's show the bam again. Bam. Did you see that? Now, I have to ask, Kevin.
Yes, sir.
what crime do you think this young man is being detained for?
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe he was trying to break into something.
I mean, so
he
it
just robbed the bank.
definitely wasn't.
He assaulted a child,
harming one of those females, because they're all crying for him and asking why he's being abused by these. And again, I said it last week and I'll say it again. I support police officers. Now, does that mean that I support bad humans? Because again, in every occupation, there are good people and bad people. I do support good police officers.
One of our friends,
these fellas here,
police officer,
and specifically this one here in the blue, with his hand on a man's throat. He's clearly not armed. They could have walked up to him with a less confrontational manner and maybe handled this slightly differently. Yes, I will say, and I said it in my tweet, yes, he did smoke or vape where he wasn't supposed to. But there are better ways to handle a nonviolent infraction other than with chokeholds and punching the guy in the face. So I'm gonna refrain from playing the rest of the woman squealing because it is quite squealy. But I did want to say, look on my tweet. I'll even show you the tweet, Kevin.
Good.
I'm going to show you one. There are two tweets, but this one says, I have to ask where is the de-escalation here? And I tag the police department in Ocean City and Ocean City, Maryland. If you need 6 to 8 LEOs, that's law enforcement officers, to wrangle one man who was just exhaling fruity smelling breaths, it seems too far. Sure, he broke your rule about vaping on the boardwalk, but 6 to 8 cops, one with a hand on his throat and punching him in the face all over a cotton candy cloud? That seems excessive to me, Kevin. Oddly, that just seems weird. I got 11 retweets, though, and 24 likes. Of all of my friends, I got 24 likes, Kevin.
You're lucky you have any friends at all. So
I'm actually quite surprised.
I've got a couple scenarios in this. Now, a gentleman's walking down the boardwalk. I think he was 33, if I recall. Now, number one, enforcement discretion by a police officer. I'm sure if we brought Nick on, he would tell us, you make a decision and you go, well, it's not that important, and you move on with your day. It looked like a blank slate. There's nothing around. There was no people. There's no people. It's 2:00 in the morning. It looks like. Doesn't matter.
It wasn't 2:00 in the morning, but I get what you're saying. Now, sometimes, a police officer will pull over a speeder and say, hey, you were speeding. Here's your warning. Yeah. Don't do it again.
Yeah.
So, I have been a recipient of several of those types of scenarios.
Right.
But it just seems to me that these guys were immediately, because if he walked down the boardwalk and one cop saw him take a toot on the vape, one cop could have walked up to him and said, don't do that. It's against the rules. I'm not going to cite you, but, please follow the rules.
Move on with your day. Yep.
But for some reason, when they approached the guy, there was already 6 cops there, Kevin.
Right. So he's maybe like you and I and be like, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway. Fuck you.
Well, no, I'm just thinking that they didn't even approach the guy, that the cop that initially saw him probably said, hey, I've got a black guy here who's vaping on the boardwalk. I'm going to need backup. And then he waited until the other 5 guys showed up. And then
of course
they walk up, 6 cops walk up to one guy, especially a black guy who, probably feels worried that 6 uniformed police officers show up. And he's like, what did I do to deserve 6 cops showing up? So he's automatically probably a little bit nervous.
A little defensive.
And then he wants to know why they're bothering him.
B, it could be, along with the A, he could be, a little apprehensive like you and I may be. B, he could have mental challenges.
Could be.
The C would have been what you just said. These are tyrants who are wanting to control somebody rather than saying, hey, you're not supposed to do that. I don't know if you know that. I don't know if you're from here.
Of the things that he was from Washington, and this is on the Ocean City, Maryland boardwalk.
Oh, he's Washington.
Yeah. Now,
you don't know anybody.
Just to be clear, though, on that boardwalk, there are shops, there are restaurants. This is a tourist area. They have T-shirt stores, all sorts of merch that could be shoplifted, could be stolen. Lots of diners could be mugged. It would be a magnet for potential dangerous crimes.
So, Patrick,
the guy blowing out like fruity flavored air.
What I'm thinking is
a big deal.
We'll find we'll find somebody that's going to be the patsy, and we'll let them vape and get beat up by the cops while we go break into the there's a T-shirt shop.
Yeah,
maybe.
So,
yeah, maybe.
Steve brings up a good point that maybe he's lucky that he only got choked because he didn't get tackled to the ground like that young man last year in Ocean City, Maryland, nor did he get tased like that same young man in Ocean City, Maryland on the same boardwalk that got that the city's currently being sued for. So, like I said in this tweet, just to be clear, this guy was not suspected of a violent crime. He wasn't a person of interest in a robbery or a car theft. His crime was exhaling fruity flavored breath outdoors where the wind dissipates it quickly.
Yeah.
The Ocean City, Maryland has sicked the Ocean City Police Department on sweet-smelling clouds outdoors.
Not much different than having a certs in your mouth.
Yeah, Bill. We already showed the part where the cop punches him. Yes, we already showed that. But here's the part where this is a still of him choking him, and he's pulling back his arm right here to let fly with the punch to the face. So,
boy, there's a hero, right?
Yeah, considering the guy is 3/4 of the way on his chest. You see, this guy here in the yellow and black is pushing down on his back shoulder. You see that? Yeah. And this is his right arm. His chest and his left arm are face down on the pavement. He's
cocked and ready,
twisting. So the guy's already in a bad. And then this guy's got his hand on his throat, twisting his head the wrong way. You see that?
Well, that's probably because the cop hasn't been laid in 6 months.
Well, I don't know. He could be. His boyfriend might not be very productive for him. I don't know, but yes, this is a cop choking a guy for walking on a boardwalk outdoors, exhaling fruity smelling air.
Well, thank God Pave has cared for our children because, geez. We can't have this kind of stuff,
Yeah.
We can't have nice things.
This week, on Twitter, this was a quite active story on Twitter this week. We saw not just vaping people tweeting about this. We saw human rights people. We saw the NAACP. All sorts of people are spreading the word about this thing. And like I said before, you cannot blame every cop. You can only blame that cop or a combination of those cops.
The gaggle of cops.
Not all police officers are evil. The vast majority of them are doing good work. But these few bad ones, they get blown up and then they're all over the place. And I'm sure the cop is probably himself suffering from some sort of mental illness that makes him think it's okay to punch people in the face while you're choking them. He might need to seek some sort of counseling and help as well. But yes, this is the type of nonsense that is occurring in our world, in addition to all of the other crap that we're having to deal with. But Kevin,
what?
This week, I've been promising to set up a Rumble account so that we would have a fallback position in case YouTube decides to start removing content. Like they've removed a couple of our shows for no reason. Apparently, on one of the shows where I said something about, yes, you should probably wear a mask during the thing that was occurring. I don't want to say it out loud. Because I was quite verbally supportive of masks.
Yeah.
Apparently, one of my shows got flagged for misinformation about the thing. And I'm like,
yeah.
But I've been quite supportive of wearing the mask. I wear one every day. I have never said anything negative. So I don't understand why my show got removed, but they would never tell me. But anyway, so I tweeted about it and got 2 of you guys to follow the Rumble. So
I will never do that until
I'm also now posting it in the chat room because we cannot live stream there until we have a minimum of 5 followers. So if you're asking for another place to view the show that won't block out stuff because of music or whatever, then you got to go and follow us on Rumble. Just saying.
Hey, by the way,
I did upload some of our best shows as content on the channel, and some of them have already gotten like nice numbers of views for only being on there for one day and for being old content.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
Yeah. Did you know about 30 people have watched the Nicotine and Neurodiversity Part 1 and Part 2.
Good.
Yeah.
Did you know, I think Michael's in the room. Did you know he's now 10 years smoke free, by the way? Just so you know.
Yeah. No, I didn't know that specifically, but I mean, how many years are you? Where are you at, Kevin? Are you like
Janice and I just passed 10 in May.
And this is 2023, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So in December, it will be 13 years.
13? Well, I figured I can't find it now in the tweet, but I think, it's today, Michael. It was like 5,480 packs of cigarettes he did not contribute any tax money to.
Oh, well, I mean, if you add that up,
that's
depending
not
on
right.
what state he's in, the tax money could be as much as $20,000 or $30,000, depending on what state he's in.
I apologize. I lied. It's 5,200 and something packs of cigarettes that were replaced by vaping. That's the math. That's right. That's what I was meant. Yeah, here we go.
Did you take your dementia medicine this morning, Kevin?
What? I'm not joining friggin' Rumble either. I'm not joining another fucking thing.
Well, that might be the only place that we can safely be, other than possibly Twitter. I don't think they'll ban me because I pay.
I'm not joining until we're kicked off of everything else. So somebody's got to go join for me. Make up my name and do what you want.
I'm just refreshing, and it says no. It has not improved. It has not changed.
Oh, well,
there are people that are fibbing. I think Mallory's fibbing because my follower number did not increase.
Why would
she was one of the possibly 2 people that have followed us. I do think it's pretty cool though that people that are not following us are watching the videos.
I love that.
David Gerlich has got I put David Gerlich's show on here and he's got 37 views.
Damn.
Since yesterday afternoon.
What's that
not
tell
too
you?
Bad for a 3-year-old video.
He's got stuff to say and they want to hear it.
Possibly. They're like, maybe I recognize that old man's face.
I love that.
That could be it.
Crotchety old bastard.
Yeah. You're calling him crotchety?
Yes. Have you met him?
How dare you?
He's a sweetheart. He really is.
How dare you?
I ain't scared of him.
You're as crotchety as he is.
Well.
And old.
When in Rome.
All right. So I hate to be repeatedly highlighting my own tweets this week, Kevin.
Oh, feel free. Go ahead. We don't care.
But this one here is in response to a much more important tweet by our friend Marawa.
Mm-hmm.
So Marawa tweeted that she just had a scientific paper rejected. And she says, it seems I made an incorrect assumption that the experiences and perceptions of people who smoke should be considered by policy analysts. The reviewer that said, it is not clear to me why the opinions of smokers are of high relevance. Relevance, Kevin.
You're not people.
So it seems to me that these reviewers that are reviewing scientific papers, because the peer review process for publication, do not understand the phrase "meet them where they are."
The ramifications.
Now, who better to help government figure out good ways to help them quit smoking than the people that are going through the process of smoking?
What? We the people?
Of quitting the smoking.
I'll take the liberty of doing so.
Yeah, I mean, Clive says, experiences and perceptions from the at-risk community that I find dissonant with my own are not welcome in the scientific literature. The literature exists to promote my ideas and worldview, even though I have rare contact with the lived reality of those I study.
Rare.
Yeah.
Rare.
So, yeah. So there, I get it. I get it, guys. So since I pay for Twitter, because I needed the edit button, I also have the ability to write longer tweets. You see how long that tweet is, Kevin? That's a fairly long tweet. But I figured
it's a blog.
I had a lot of words that I wanted to get out about this particular topic, because it seems to me that people in tobacco control, their mission is to help people not smoke. Or
no, it's not.
Since it's called tobacco control, maybe they just want to control
CON
the behaviors around tobacco, because it's about control.
It is about control.
It is about control. So I'm going to read my own tweet just because I feel special. There is a phrase that has been adapted or adopted by social workers, healthcare practitioners, and addiction counselors across the globe. Meet them where they are. It is an approach that has worked well, helping those who feel powerless feel like they are a part of the solution to their own problems. But for it to work, empathy between those seeking help and those in power must exist. If you cannot put yourself in their shoes, any solution you devise will fall or fail. Tobacco control does not want to humanize people that smoke. And see how I put people that smoke, Kevin? You notice that? They want to keep them at arm's length. They want to rule over them, not to cooperate and coordinate. They don't want to empower them. Ideologues are deaf to any ideas other than their own. Solutions to the problem of cigarettes and smoking are clear to them. It's quit or die, my way or the highway. There is no such thing as tobacco harm reduction. Go away, you filthy smoker. You're just a big tobacco flunky, and vaping is smoking. This new refusal to publish a study that records the voices of people that smoke and includes them as part of the solution is just one more example showing that their intention is not to save lives. Their intention is to ignore the perceptions and experiences of those with the greatest stake in solving the problem in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
You see how?
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of pissed me off when I saw that Marwa had tweeted that they were refusing to review her paper simply because she included the thoughts and opinions of the people that they claim that they're trying to help.
Exactly. Now, if by chance I was still smoking and I went to my doctor and the doctor's like, well, did you try the patch? Well, I don't know what to tell you. You got to keep trying. And I kept trying and then I'm dead. Or if the doctor said, there's this new vaping thing, you can try snus. You have other options, whether they're FDA approved or not. I can't recommend them, but there they are. But that's not what doctors really can do. I'm assuming legally they can't say go try vape legally, but because it's not approved or authorized. However, a tobacco control expert can say, well, that's too bad. Well, you're not doing it right. Well, you haven't tried hard enough. Well, how many times have you tried? Yeah, it's just willpower. Yeah, that's what it is. And then you have studies saying higher nicotine strengths can help. Nobody ever says that. That's buried so fucking deep I couldn't find it. It's that buried. So I have a new, not new, but a renewed way of saying this. If you want to quit smoking, higher nicotine strengths in anything other than a cigarette will probably help you. That's my new thing, or renewed.
Possibly.
It's quite possible. And I don't have any right to say it's vaping or snus or whatever. It's just higher nicotine strength in whatever you're using other than a cigarette will probably help you quit smoking more than going to get a patch off the shelf. Yeah. That's all. Hey, you got 5 followers on Rumble. Look at that.
That's what Steve says, but I don't believe him until it says on Rumble that I have. But it's too late. So immediately after today, if it will allow me to stream next week, the show will be set up to stream. But I will add tonight's show to that channel after tonight's show.
Yeah.
But so you remember there used to be a guy that was the governor of New York. Christ. Remember that guy?
Is this Guido or is this the other?
No. I'm just on that. I mean, do you remember that there was a guy who used to be in charge of New York City?
There was, yeah.
Or was he in charge of New York City, or was he the governor? I can never remember. I think he was the mayor of New York, right?
Bloom, dumbass, yeah.
Well, not Bloomberg, the other dumbass, the one Cuomo.
He was mayor, I believe, and
I think he was mayor of New York City. I don't think he was governor. I think George Pataki or somebody else was the governor because they were having it out. Huh?
He was governor at one point.
Who?
Cuomo.
Well, then he was the governor of New York, and he was bossing the mayor of New York around.
Right, and I think he was also mayor at one point, though.
Well, I don't know, but I don't believe so. I don't know. Our New Yorker, we'll have to ask Andrew when Andrew comes because he's a New Yorker. He'll be able to tell us. Addie says that he was the governor. I don't believe he was ever the mayor. But anyway, the mayor of New York, the current guy, made an announcement this week. And let's see what this guy has to say. I have to do it. Did I share sound? Let me. I'm gonna do it again. Let's see. Share screen. Let's go over here to there we go. Now we're good to go. So this young man right here is the current mayor of New York City. Now this is a 23-minute long video. We're not going to play the 23-minute long bit.
No.
Quite welcome. Such an important issue as we were sitting down talking in the room. of how this organization, PAVE, came about, stumbling on a assembly where a child was told about vaping, and really given misinformation. And it's, it's just commendable when parents step up and instead of sitting on the sideline.
Now he's congratulating parents for stepping up, as long as it's parents that step up and say what he wants them to say. So now there are plenty of other issues where parents say, you mind your own business, I'll raise my own kids, that this guy would say, no, you have to do it the way I want you to do it. And I'm not going to talk about the plethora of things that are going on where parents are riled up and the progressives or whatever are saying, no, you're an evil person for thinking the way you think. But this jackass here is up here spouting nonsense. But yeah.
Understand when something is harmful to a child, we must step up and respond accordingly.
Now, not to get ugly here, but do you see this young lady to the right of your screen here? She looks like she didn't get a good night's sleep. You see how droopy her eyes are? She does not look very energetic and happy to be on the stage. And this guy over here looks like a deer caught in headlights. You see this? He's got the deer caught in the headlights look. And this lady over here has a significant amount of RBF going on over here. So
indignant
just saying,
face,
And this young lady here, she looks cross-eyed. I'm not making fun of her for being, if she is cross-eyed, but let's see. Let's keep going here for a few more minutes.
And that is why we're here today. We know, and the judge has been speaking about this issue for some time, as well as Deputy Mayor William Isom has been talking about, vaping and what it does. And so I really want to thank the Deputy Mayor. I want to thank PAVE. I want to thank our Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. And I also want to thank the sheriff.
The Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, Kevin.
Sure.
I mean, are those? Is that an organization that's specifically designed to keep people from having dirty thoughts? I mean,
I'm going to use the pun that's on the tip of my tongue. It's called brainwashing, Patrick. That's what it is. Mental hygiene, brainwashing.
Mental hygiene.
Come on, give it to me. Very good, Kevin. Hey, by the way, I love your shirt, so you know. What?
My current shirt, the
mental hygiene.
So I'm
clean
just,
your minds.
Yeah. So this is a news story here.
I can't believe
it covers
news to federal court to stop the sale of flavored e-cigarettes, the kind that appeal to kids. CBS 2's political reporter Marsha Kramer has more.
It's a site.
Stop the sale of flavored e-cigarettes, the kind that appeal to kids.
Now, the kind that appeal to kids, Kevin.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility that other people could also like those things?
I don't know. Janice has about 30 different flavors. I don't even know how many.
So it just
she's
seems
58.
odd. Seems odd to me that they think that suddenly after, the age of majority, you don't like things that are tasty anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. But anyway, let's keep going.
CBS 2's political reporter Marsha Kramer has more.
It's a sight that Mayor Adams doesn't want to encounter in New York City ever again. Middle and high school kids vaping and smoking e-cigarettes.
Those who state that these products are safe, that is 100% false. These products are packed with nicotine, a toxic and highly addictive chemical that is particularly damaging to adolescent minds and bodies.
The mayor argued that some of the vape products are equal to between 175 and 350 single cigarettes.
Now
I did the math earlier.
I'm gonna say, Kevin, that I don't technically have any dogs in this hunt, but I have friends that are named right there on the front of this page that are my friends. Actually, one of the defendants used to be our main sponsor, and
Wasn't he on the show?
and was a guest on this show.
That's what
John Glosser. His name is right there, Jay Glosser. You see that? So I personally have a stake in this just because I know people involved, not because I actually have any actual monetary dog in this hunt, or and I'm not a named person on this case, but I can tell you that I don't like it when people say that my friends are victimizing children. As you know, I have spent a lot of time talking about child abuse on this show, Kevin.
Yep.
So that is a topic that is near and dear to me, and it does piss me off. But let's listen to some more of this nonsense.
The suit was filed against 4 distributors, including Star Vape, based in Brooklyn, and Demand Vape, which is based in Buffalo. Officials say they sell to retail vape and smoke shops, convenience stores, and directly to consumers via the internet.
Now, I was unaware that Demand Vape had a retail site. I'm pretty sure they don't.
Wow.
I'm quite positive that they don't.
Patrick, you can fabricate anything you want when you're CBS News New York. So I don't know that.
But they're just regurgitating nonsense that's in the actual suit. So I'm quite aware that Demand Vape never had a retail website. And the other thing is they have no control over what the retailers do once they purchase the product.
Hey, I got a question. Do they have control over the access, compliance, and enforcement in such things like this, though, Patrick?
Well, I don't know about the access part, Kevin, because that's the vape shops and the convenience stores. But the enforcement and compliance, I have 100% positive that they have no power over what government agencies do with their enforcement discretion.
Huh. There's that. I love that
word. You see how I did that? I brought that shit all the way back around on you.
This is the news vomit portion of our show, folks. And hey, for you ladies who have too much hair on your legs, start shaving, because I'm worried about y'all's hair.
Yeah, Addy confirmed they do not have a retail website. They are wholesale only. I like I said, I was quite positive they did not. Do not.
The city sheriff has already confiscated many thousands of dollars worth of these products.
Flavors included exotic fruit, candy, dessert-like taste, and all clearly designed to appeal to young people.
Yes.
Nicotine can change.
That's right.
Again, because old people don't like things that taste good.
No.
Change the chemistry of an adolescent's brain. It may affect learning ability. It worsens memory.
Let's see. Let's go back here, Kevin.
Take me to court.
I'm gonna take a minute here. We're at 1 minute and 12 seconds.
The chemistry of an adolescent's brain. It may affect learning ability.
It may affect learning ability, Kevin. May affect. Now I'm gonna interrupt this segment.
Modal verbs.
I'm going to interrupt this segment for there is a video that I had downloaded that just happens to talk about this. So let's watch this.
Bad for real? Okay. Nicotine, but here's what's crazy. Nicotine is neuroprotective.
Now, again, this is a neuroscientist, by the way.
Nicotine is great for us. Not that everyone should take it, but it increases acetylcholine and dopamine and epinephrine, leads to heightened focus, improved memory.
Improved memory.
So I suggest, and it's up to the attorneys, John should probably just bring this into court and just hand it to them and say, you guys keep saying this bullshit. Now, here it is.
Yeah.
Exhibit 12.
And can offset neurodegeneration and Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. Smoking cigarettes. Okay.
So
who is that right there? Who is that guy?
His name is Huberman. He's an internet neuroscience. He is a neuroscientist. But
well, Charlie has told us these words already.
It worsens.
But I
federal court to stop the sale.
So you messed me up.
Yeah,
anyway,
I messed you up.
Charlie has said these words. Keep going.
Charlie has said these words to us, along with not liking either of us, or either of us in some cases. I believe Dr. Glover has also at least alluded to it, because we talked about nicotine a little bit with
we've mentioned it before. Yeah,
among others, we've covered this.
It's been talked about ad nauseum, I believe, at this stage, Kev.
And I wonder. I honestly wonder, and I'm gonna tiptoe around this very carefully because I know you get triggered easily. Some of the evidence from these attorneys, one specifically that I saw a tweet today, and I just couldn't believe what I read. You're not bringing that into court yet, evidently, for some reason or other. And it baffles me how this type of thing isn't shown to the judge or the jury or whatever it is.
In this particular lawsuit, Kevin, that is unimportant.
Right, it's irrelevant. I know.
The case that they're making is that somehow demand vapes is selling to kids on the internet, which is not possible. That's the case.
It doesn't matter. It's not possible, right?
It doesn't matter whether nicotine is neuroprotective. It doesn't matter. Yes, and Michael Redfern says in the chat that Huberman has done some negative vaping videos, but specifically
maybe that's what I saw.
To counter the comments from that counsel, the AG or whatever, that says that nicotine does yada yada yada. Here's a neuroscientist who does say that nicotine is great for us. Like he specifically says, it's great for us. Now, he doesn't like the delivery method at all. He doesn't like smoking or vaping. But as far as nicotine, it's a neuroprotectant. Right. It helps you with mental focus. It's great for us, according to that guy. Again, we can argue about the delivery method, but yes. I think I've even played some videos on this show of him being anti-vaping, but he's pro-nicotine.
Maybe that's why he's familiar.
We can discuss the acceptable harm threshold of what people are willing to accept, and that is something that is an individual thing, and people should have the right to make those choices themselves.
Yes. The liberties.
So, that's the thing. But let's finish this stuff here.
It's the chemistry of an adolescent's brain. It may affect learning ability. It worsens memory and concentration.
The suit,
again, not according to that neuroscientist,
accuses the distributors of violating a host of city, state, and federal laws, including the federal RICO statutes, which are often used to go after organized crime gangs.
RICO charges you go after bloodthirsty profiteers.
Oh, there's your favorite woman, Kevin.
I have because there's ladies present, and I don't know if Bruni's in the room, but the C word is coming out of my mouth really slowly right
now. I want you to pay attention to this young lady over here to the left. Well, it's actually the right. You see how she's
side-eyed and all.
You see that side eye she's giving the paved lady. You see that? She doesn't even want to be on the same stage with that. She's looking at her going, "You're actually wearing that pink in public."
Is that fuchsia?
She's saying, "Girl, you need to get back in the ghetto with that."
I didn't know women liked colors and flavory looking fucking stuff. Mm. What's this bling?
Everybody has to wear. You can only eat porridge and wear gray clothes, Kevin. That's all you can have. No color or flavor.
Orange.
Yeah.
Years. right? These are gangsters. And that is exactly what these companies are, because they're using flavors to addict kids.
The use of e-cigarettes and vaping products has risen exponentially in both the United States and here in New York City. The suit seeks millions of dollars in damages. I'm Marcia Kramer, CBS 2 News.
So, you know, this is
John,
something that we're going to pay attention to, because John, I know John's not going to allow this nonsense to stand.
No. Now, I'm joking, John, if you're going to end up listening to this. See you next Tuesday. John's a gangster, and we need to get him one of them fedoras and the whole thing, because, anyway. Because what's her face called him a gangsta.
No, we're not gangsters. We're pirates, Kevin.
Oh my God.
We're scallywags.
I mean, the Nick father is, that's one thing, and now you got John's a gangster. I don't know the others, but you can't fix stupid. You just can't, and it's clear that they just let them have microphones for seconds at a time. Wait a minute. Never mind. Oh, it cracked me up. What other bullshit do you have?
I'm just reading the message.
The chewing of the vomit is getting bad. Oh, from our buddy. Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't open it, but yeah.
It's a PDF of the.
Let me ask you, Patrick. You're smarter than I am, allegedly. So,
what do you mean allegedly?
I've used the word RICO because you've got inter and intra-state emails through all these organizations that are supposed to help you people. Calm the fuck down. They're trying to help you. Just do what you're told.
I'm wondering if John. If our friend John Glosser is a gangster, can you and I be button men?
I'd just prefer to hold the Tommy gun. I don't want to say a word. I know you don't believe that, but I got a good poker face. I do. So if
I would be a button man for John,
if they're protecting their statutes of RICO, isn't it that they're protecting cigarettes the same exact way by doing what they're doing? Cigarettes are now completely safe, I guess, in New York.
So as far as I thought RICO had to do with the conspiracy. You had to have a conspiracy sort of and racketeering and strong. I mean, that's all part of like strong arming, and there's a tax situation in there as well. But RICO normally has to do with conspiracy.
Well,
unless I'm wrong.
Is there not a conspiracy to put out one business over another by the government what?
See, now you're just being silly. So here's the actual documents here. This is the paper. This is the and it says civil action, but it's done through a federal court. This is United States District Court, Southern District of New York, civil action, like City of New York against Magellan, which is Ecto World, La Demand Vape, Matthew J. Glosser, yada, yada, yada. Okay. So it says the plaintiff, the City of New York, by its counsel, Honorary Sylvia O. Hines Radix, Corporation Counsel of the City of New York, respectfully alleges, with knowledge of its own actions, on information and belief as to the actions of others, as follows. Now, do you want me to skip to number 11, or do you want me to go through all the way to 11, Nick? It says here that they're seeking injunctive and other equitable relief, damages, and penalties for the defendant's distribution and sale of flavored electronic nicotine delivery devices, also known as e-cigarettes. The defendants
violate
nearly every federal New York state and New York City law applicable to the marketing, distribution, and sale of flavored electronic cigarettes and sales of which are prohibited under laws enacted by all 3 jurisdictions. Flavored disposable electronic are, see how they gave us a new acronym, FDVs. FDVs, flavored disposable vaping devices.
Yeah.
Okay. So he says go all the way to 11 to break down the RICO. So let's go down to RICO here. RICO Suave. And now they're saying PACT Act violations, which I guarantee you these guys are button that Demand Vape has dotted all of the I's and crossed all the T's on their RICO or on their PACT Act documentation. Anyway, defendants counsel and conceal and conspire to conceal from federal, New York State, and city authorities their flavored vaping device sales by failing as required by the PACT Act to register as delivery sailors with federal, state, and city authorities as required by the PACT Act to report to federal, New York State, and city authorities the details of each delivery sale they make into the city or the state, and to identify their packages as FDVs, as containing cigarettes, or as vaping products as required under New York State law. Yeah.
What?
Defendants thereby use or conspire to use the mails or wires to obtain money. This is the wire transfer. This is the racketeering and yada 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 part. To obtain money or property through false or fraudulent pretenses in violation of the mail and wire fraud statutes. And here's some numbers: USC, blah blah blah. That constitutes racketeering activity when undertaken with sufficient frequency by members of an enterprise. That's the conspiracy. That racketeering activity injures the city and business or property inter alia in the form of damages incurred by the federal disposable of defendants' products as hazardous waste, thereby constituting a violation of 18 USC 1961, 1962, C and D, and racketeering. This is the RICO, Racketeering Influenced Corrupt Organizations Act. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's what I said. There is no way in hell they have not crossed every T and dotted every I on their PACT Act paperwork, Kevin.
Right. So
these guys are, I mean, in every interaction I've ever had with the demand guys, they have always been nothing but, I mean, they're always professional.
Right.
And I guarantee you, like I said, they're being blamed, or it's being said that they somehow sold to kids on the internet. Not possible, because they have no retail presence. Now, apparently, there was somebody that was spoofing them and had made it look like they did, but they were already seeking recompense for that situation through the legal system. So, yeah, I'm quite positive that they can beat the fuck out of this, and there should be suing the hell out of the city and state of New York for any sort of loss of reputation and damages that this nonsensical lawsuit brings against their business.
Yeah,
because they're following the rules.
Because they've just, the city has gained funds illegally, in my opinion, from the settlement, right? Anyway,
funds illegally from the settlement, Kevin.
The Juul settlement.
Are you talking about the master settlement?
No, not that. That's just as fucked up as this is. It's all layered into stupidity.
But
you got to go line by line.
That's all legal. I mean, they negotiated fair and square for that money, Kevin.
I know.
I mean, that's RICO as far as I'm concerned.
In order to sue Juul, they fabricated what they fabricate, and then they take the money. And Juul went, "Yeah, sure, here you go." You know, so It's okay.
Well, I mean, they were tired. I mean, Juul's. I mean, as far as I know, Kevin, Juul is done.
Right.
Altria has already abandoned their stake in Juul, so the contractual obligation to keep Juul in a prominent display beside Marlboro is done.
Yeah. Right. It is.
And now Enjoy is going to take over that shelf space because they bought Enjoy. So Juul has become, superfluous. It's not important anymore. Now they can keep spouting Juul, but yeah, it's not going to help them at all. But you remember a while back, Kevin, we did a show making fun of spontaneous pneumothoraxes being the new pick point. What I said, the new diacetyl. So I'm not going to read these, but I just want you guys to notice how easily you can pick up a pattern. So all in like 2 days' time. So this is a story. Man who suffered collapsed lung is taking legal action against vape shop. Doctors found a chemical burn in Alex's lungs. So then here's another one. 26-year-old Malaysian in ICU. I'm assuming that Asian is Malaysian, maybe. After a collapsed lung from vaping, urges others to quit smoking. And yeah, this is Malaysian here. And then you go over here. There's another one. It says man whose lung collapse from vaping reveals first warning sign everyone should know. And then another one. Not this one. This is an inopportune placement for an advertisement of a woman farting. My lung collapsed from vaping. Here's what people need to know. Bam, bam, bam. 4 stories in 2 days, and actually it's more. I just picked 4 of them to show you how they're going to find any little thing that they can find to diminish, to demean, to attack, to demonize, to scare people away from what you and I and everyone in the chat room and everybody who watches our show knows, that vaping helps people quit smoking. And these people do not want you to quit smoking.
They're protecting you and protecting cigarettes. There you go.
Yeah. But that it is what it is, Kevin. It is what it is. They're gonna try to do everything possible. This is throw everything at the problem, including the kitchen sink, and we're gonna see what sticks.
Yeah.
But anyway, here, this one you'll like. This one is who is the target audience of vaping products? So let's see.
Oh, Lord.
Product is being sold under categories that include bubblegum, cherry.
Now he says categories. Under categories that include. Let's read
being sold under categories that include bubblegum, cherry, pineapple, and other fruit flavors. We're talking about some of the vaping products out there. One Atlanta City Councilman is critical, saying that these marketing of these kinds of items could entice youth to participate.
As Fox 5's Morse Diggs tells us, Councilman Michael Bond wants...
Now, just because something is made in a flavor or packaged, a device is a color, does not mean that that is marketing. As far as I'm concerned, marketing has to do with advertisements, even
stop.
Physical advertisements in the stores.
You mean like what's right behind them? Like what's right behind them and what they're getting ready to portray? Well, that's advertising.
That's packaging. That's not advertisement. That's a picture of a store shelf, Kevin.
It's all in
and
the
if vape
word.
shops are doing their job, then there won't be any kids in there in the first place. The only people that are going to see that are people that are in the vape store and should legally be in there. But anyway,
and if
let's
there
go.
are kids in the vape shop, there won't be anybody.
Morse is live in Northeast Atlanta to share the details.
Now, I have a hard opinion on this, Kevin. Kids have no business being in a tobacco store. Kids have no business being in a vape shop, period.
No, they don't.
So, yeah. I mean, I that makes us look bad. Not us. That makes vaping in general look bad. Kevin already makes himself look bad just by, what he looks like in the mirror. But,
But that's more.
Well, Bond wants to draw the line over some of the things that have been brought to his attention, some of the marketing.
And that's Vaporite. I know those guys.
However, I talked to the owner of this store here, and she says those fruity flavors, well, they're going to stay. There are at least 50% of the sales at the store along Cheshire Bridge.
They look like, bubble gum. They look like...
They look like bubble gum? Now, when was the last time you bought a piece of bubble gum that looked like that? I mean, that doesn't look like a piece of bubble gum to me. That looks like a vape.
They look like, bubble gum. They look like candy.
Vape products, say the Atlanta councilman, are not for children. So Michael Bond believes
vape products are not for children, and I'm sure that this guy thinks he's the only one that says that. But here we are, Kevin. There's Nick Orlando's in the chat room. He owns a vape business. The rest of us that are in the chat room may not own vape businesses, but we use the products, and I think we all agree that these products are meant for adults, not for children. So I think we can agree on that. We all agree that this is not for kids.
Regulators can and should close a loophole regulating a segment of the merchandise.
They can have this type of advertising on.
Now I'm embarrassed because I'm a nerd and a geek, and this guy has more action figures than me, and he's so stupid.
Oh no, he likes Batman. He likes Batman.
He's got Superman behind him. He's got C-3PO over there. I'm very disappointed in geeks all over the world that this guy is representing us.
Their products. If you're an adult and you make a decision, you're making that decision as an adult. But children are easily tempted by, bright colors.
Now let me take this back here. I'm gonna go back about some seconds here. Let's see.
They can have this type of advertising on their products. If you're an adult and you make a decision, you're making that decision as an adult.
So he says, like, adults can make their own decisions, right? So but he's professing, he's pushing for promoting a ban on products to remove them from the marketplace because supposedly kids like them, but fuck the adults who also like those products that he just said adults can make their own decisions.
But children are easily tempted by, bright colors.
Children should have parents that prevent them from making poor choices.
Vaping is a long-established alternative to nicotine. The owners have repeatedly told Fox 5 they check IDs, and an unaccompanied young person or child would immediately be shown the door.
If you have someone who is of age that purchases one of these bright bubblegum candy-like vape cigarettes, they bring it home. That could also be an enticement for a child, and unintended.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if an adult purchases the product and takes it home, and their child is tempted to use it, it is the parent's obligation to parent their child and let them know, if you touch that, I will beat your little ass. Period.
I will knock you out.
Nah, don't say knock you out, Kevin. That is abuse. Spanking is not an abuse. But knocking somebody out, Kevin, that's not right. No, I'm just saying. I'm gonna have to come up there and protect Logan from your abusive behavior if you're threatening to knock Logan out.
I'll tell you, that kid has grabbed Janice's vape exactly 0 fucking times. 0. None. Never.
consequence.
Most use fruit flavors are by far what I sell more of.
The owner of 6 vape shops says fruity flavors handled responsibly are not bad.
I think it comes down to how things are packaged, and if they are packaged in a way that's cartoonish to appeal to younger people, that's where I think the problem can be.
She should have kept her fucking mouth shut.
Oh, Lisa, come on the show. Let's talk. Let's have a chat. Well, you know. Of course,
Just
that could be edited for time, right? It could be edited for time, but that was...
We've never been cited. All I've gotten is letters from the Department of Revenue telling us what a good job we have been doing when they send people underage. I don't market
That's your job. No, you're not.
Now, so how old do you have to be to enter one of these shops? It used to be 18 years of age. The federal government changed that to 21. And Ms. Gano tells me she's just fine with that. Reporting live from Northeast Atlanta, I'm Morris Diggs, Fox 5 News.
All right.
Now, they didn't mic that guy up right because you could hear that motorcycle revving down the street. This is, you know, sorry, Fox 5, you should have done a better job with miking up your guy. Yeah.
Yes.
And Nick is absolutely right. Do not do interviews. They cut that stuff and make you sound like a jackass. Yes.
Written statements. Would you agree? Written statement only.
As long as if they ask me for a comment, I will demand that they publish it in full.
Yeah.
No editing of my.
I don't remember.
Kevin.
I don't remember who, and it's quite some time ago. They did an interview. They showed the clips of their excerpts, and then the gentleman had, whoever it was, it may be somebody we know. I don't remember. I really don't. He had the whole interview. So however he got it,
They've done it to Connolly a couple times.
Way different than what was shown on screen. So I'm not mad at this lady. Choice of wording is a little odd, but you can't. Nick's correct. Yeah. Don't come interview me because I'm just going to use the F words and the. I'm kind of fond of those. Yeah, I know. Tisk. Yeah.
So
you're going to just rile me up now, aren't you? Don't make me come over there. What?
So I think this is a repeat news piece here, Kevin. I think we've covered this. I think I want to make sure. I want to make sure that I redo this because I can't remember. Again, there's an advertisement for underwear. I don't know why, but it says here, North Carolina mom warns about potential dangers of vaping after 15-year-old stepson dies.
Not sure that we covered this.
So this is the Inside Edition story. So Zorn from Wilmington, North Carolina, is devastated by the death of her stepson, Solomon Wynn, who died earlier this month, but adamant others learn from her family's pain. A North Carolina mother is warning about the potential dangers of vaping after her 15-year-old stepson died. Charlene Zorn from Wilmington, North Carolina, is devastated by the death of her stepson, Solomon Wynn. My heart, I already read that I wasn't in the tragedy of this boy's death, but my heart right now is in 10,000 pieces, she tells Inside Edition. No child is going to suffer the way my child suffered. Nobody else can go through what I'm experiencing right now. So it says here, before Solomon got sick, she says he was a healthy athlete who no one knew was vaping. Then one day he got a cough. His family thought it was bronchitis, but she says x-rays told a different story. You've been vaping. Don't lie, the x-ray technician told the teen. Zorn recalls.
That's
I've had so many people say to me, No, you remember last week we had a guy on Twitter say that I was an asshole or ignorant because I said that doctors would make comments about chest X-rays. Anyway, I've had so many people say to me, "How did Solomon get the vape? How does any kid get anything? A friend, a sibling? They stole it from a parent. We are not parents that smoke." Zorn recalls he collapsed on Friday the 16th, and we had to make the choice on Saturday night to take him off the ventilator. Solomon had developed symptoms associated with EVALI, or e-cigarette or vaping product use associated lung injury, Zorn said. EVALI is a serious medical condition in which a person's lungs become damaged from substances contained in e-cigarettes and vaping products, the Yale School of Medicine says. The cause of death listed on Solomon's death certificate was vaping.
No.
His stepmother says.
Really?
I would love. I'm not morbid enough to say that I would love to see his death certificate, but I really would like to see his death certificate.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe that for 1 minute.
No.
Even somebody that smoked their whole life, when they die, it doesn't say cigarettes on their death certificate. An actual cause of death would be listed.
It says congestive heart failure. It says heart attack. It says etc. Yeah.
Pulmonary embolism, all sorts of things that are actual diagnoses. It would not say vaping on his death certificate. I'm sorry. It's a tragic thing, young lady, and I'm sure that you're angry and upset because you want to know why your child died, but it was not from an electronic cigarette. I promise you that. Zor's goal now is to make sure others are warned and educated and to somehow monetize that because this is her ex-stepson. I do remember this now. She divorced. She keeps referring to this child as her son, and it was her stepson, and her and the dad had already split up. I remember now.
So is this like a rehash?
We did cover this
article.
This is from about
3 years ago. Okay.
2 weeks ago.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't remember it.
So there's a lot of more nonsense in this story, but I do recall this now. I do actually have a video, but I'm not going to play it.
No.
Because she specifically says that it says on the death certificate vaping, which I know is not true.
I'd like to see them, any of them.
I would like to see proof.
For reference, of course.
Yeah, just so that we could write a check for the money that Charlie has.
I mean, verification is necessities.
Yes.
Write a check for no reason. I'm $100 into that. I don't know what everybody else is, and I don't care. It's just, yeah.
So, Kev, there's a pill.
Oh, no, good Lord. Yeah, what?
There's a pill that
make somebody smarter?
Is currently being sold to help people quit smoking.
Oh, yeah.
Varenicline, right? You've seen that before, Varenicline? It's like Chantix, I think is what it's marketed as. So
black
here's
box, not bad.
It says Varenicline may be a viable option in the future for vaping cessation. So it fails to help people quit smoking. It fails to help people quit smoking.
Patrick, that's 2 minutes. Not only does it not help people quit smoking, but the U.S. federal government, the FDA, them fuckers, and the United Kingdom allowed underage children to use this a few years ago.
Yes,
and there was literally no effect. It didn't do anything for those people. I apologize for interrupting you. Go on now.
Yeah. So Chantix, Varenicline,
Yeah.
We if you've been around a minute, Kevin, you do know that at one point there was a black box warning on this product.
Yes.
And it
it
earned
fast-tracked.
It earned that black box warning by being tied to the deaths of something like 2,000 people.
Oh, I thought it was 500.
Okay, so even if it's 500 people, somewhere between 500 people, it caused people to have psychotic breaks, magnified depression,
to die early,
suicidal ideation, and in some cases, actual suicide success. But for some reason, after the FDA said it, after it was originally black boxed, and a black box warning, for those of you who don't know, is that when you accept the prescription, they make you sign a thing saying you are aware that it could possibly cause you to die.
535. So, do you want your children? Are you that obsessed that you would want your children to take this drug? Or are you out of your fucking minds?
Oh, I need to address something real quick, Nick. I have 8 different samples for you and for somebody else. They're packaged. Well, they're not packaged, but they are bottled. They're right there. I'm too lazy to go to the mailbox.
You see Addie's comment?
I have actually made them.
Addie's got the bigger piece.
Well,
of this
yes,
puzzle.
I actually did try. I beat somebody pretty senseless in the middle of the night once because of that.
So you got 535 confirmed, and then how many thousands of other things and wives and children been affected along with the people themselves for just trying to quit smoking. So
again, the whole point of this was to bring this up and say that this medicine that has been shown to be deficient in helping people quit smoking is now being suggested as a viable option to help people quit vaping.
Well, I'm with Nick. You ain't taking cold, dead hands. Fuck you. You ain't taking it. Fuck you.
So, yeah, I just thought it was funny. I'm not going to sit here and read it. I didn't even doubt. But I just thought,
well, now they want you to quit.
We're quite aware that statistically, Varenicline is very unsuccessful at getting people to quit smoking.
Yeah.
And now they're saying, oh, well, let's help you quit vaping with it. Because
no, that's not what they're saying. That's not what they're saying, Patrick. They're saying you're not doing enough. You need to stop that too. We don't like that. Fuck you.
No, see, you're attributing like way more words than they are capable of using, Kevin. I mean, you're actually thinking that they're smart enough to comprehend, and again, I think you're attributing a much higher level of intelligence than what they are capable of. They're just like, hey, we already got this thing that's a failure, but let's market it a different way.
No, I still think they don't want you to do anything.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that they
Plain
only want
water.
you to do what they want you to do, but
yeah,
I also think that they're not quite intelligent enough to make that happen,
Because
Kevin.
they're psychotic.
I think you're just giving them way too much credit, though.
Maybe they've had too much Varenicline or whatever you called it. I don't know.
Varenicline. I don't know.
Maybe they don't have enough nicotine in their system to understand.
That could be. They're not mentally focused enough.
Possibly, might, may, could. I don't know.
So here,
more research is needed.
I'm happy to bring you a positive piece now.
No, you're not.
Yes. This is from the American Consumer Institute Center for Citizen Research. It sounds very respectable.
I'm not sure who
Report
they are.
refutes claims vaping is gateway to youth smoking.
Huh.
So let's see. Policymakers and federal health agencies have long insisted that teenage vaping serves as a gateway to future smoking. The theory goes that allowing a variety of vape products on the market entices young Americans to try e-cigarettes and eventually transition to combustible tobacco products where they establish lifelong addictions. Consequently, policymakers have fought to impose harsh new restrictions on adult vaping products, including blanket flavor bans, heavy taxes, and limits on nicotine levels. Some posit that these restrictions are critical to reversing the alleged epidemic of teen vaping and improving long-term health outcomes. The problem with these restrictions is their justification is based on faulty or non-existent data that wrongly assumes that smoking rates are worsening. In addition, they usually treat vaping products as one and the same as traditional tobacco products, despite research suggesting these products are less harmful. A new report by the American Consumer Institute sheds light on this subject. The report, Tobacco Harm Reduction in Teen Epidemic, Health Impacts from Vaping, examines teenage smoking data and proposes that while additional action may be needed to prevent youth access to all tobacco products, policymakers and regulators should be careful not to push adults and youth back to combustible smoking products. Instead, they should prioritize tobacco harm reduction to reduce smoking rates. Anyway,
how about that?
The report correctly notes that while health experts have long known that smoking has been linked to a variety of health problems like lung disease, lung cancer, and stroke, federal agencies like the CDC have at times promoted inaccurate information about vaping. This includes the frequently repeated claim that young people who use e-cigarettes may be more likely to smoke despite evidence that teen smoking is declining. And if you do a Google search, you'll see that the each state over the last couple of weeks has been releasing their youth smoking numbers, and by and large, each and every one of them have reported a decline in smoking and a decline in vaping. So you would think if one was up, the other one would be down or so forth, but they're both going down.
Where are my new smokers? I was promised, Patrick.
You're not going to get them, Kevin. You're not going to get them.
Where are my new smokers?
Yeah.
Who's going to pay the bills?
That's not going to happen. Yeah, it's never happened. No. So it says here, indeed, the CDC's own National Youth Tobacco Survey reveals that between 2011 and 2022, the percentage of high school seniors who reported vaping in the past 30 days declined by over 16%. Meanwhile, the number of high school seniors who reported vaping in the last 30 days has also increased by over 16%. In addition, those who reported the dual use of cigarettes and e-cigarettes also declined. These findings suggest that students who vape are not migrating to cigarettes. In fact, the opposite is occurring. There is significant evidence that the American youth are transitioning from smoking to vaping, which by and large is a victory. Yeah,
I don't remember the senator, but he said that these kids are doing the right thing. I can't remember.
Oh, that was Burr. I think that was Burr.
Yeah, Burr. That was Burr. You're right. You're correct. Yeah. Experts.
So here we are, Kevin. Here's a report that is using their own numbers to prove that that what we've been saying is right all along. I like that.
Can anybody give us a insight to who these people have been before or are? I don't know who they are.
The American Consumer Institute is a nonprofit education and research organization. So if I go to their About Us, let's see. Let me go to their About Us. Let's see. Our mission is to promote consumer welfare by improving the understanding and impact that public policies and regulations have on consumers in a free market. Oh. So they're capitalists, Kevin. They're evil capitalists.
Well, double plus good. You know, that's the way. Thank you, William. That's what we're for.
I like to make people laugh. But yeah, so these are this is an evil capitalist organization that says, let the market decide, Kevin. That's what it is. Let people decide. I like that.
My assessment of that specific piece for the general listening audience is there's less people smoking that are under 21. There's less people vaping that are under 21. And you and your friends have been promised that this would not happen, that there were going to be billions
There's going to be increases, Kevin. There's going to be many millions of new tobacco addicts.
The tobacco industry, the nicotine industry, and those fucktards are going to be in business forever. And this isn't happening. And they're really, really pissed. So there's my assessment. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening.
So here's one for you, Kevin.
Oh,
because this is the same thing that we've been saying about adults. So it says here. It says here, teenagers would quit using vapes if they were no longer flavored. Ohio study finds. So again, if I deleted the word teenagers and interposed adults,
people,
or just the word people would quit using vapes if they were no longer flavored. So I mean, it seems logical to me that if something tastes good, people like it. If it tastes bad, people don't like it. And what people like differs from one person to the next.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be fair to say, Kevin? I don't like pineapple, but other people do.
Oh, I don't like pineapple, but you do you. So
I don't like coconut.
Go on. No, I don't either.
I don't like watermelon. I don't like sour apple.
We go back to this shaming thing because my father said, "Well, smoke a real cigarette," and I've heard of. I don't see or hear of it any longer. But you're only vaping 12. You should do 18, and you should use this device and that device and whatever. You do you, and I'll do me.
What do you mean you're not using this Smock V1800 with the,
exactly
the 32 coils and blah blah blah?
I don't understand. I don't understand.
I haven't heard that type of argument in a while, though.
No, I haven't either, and I'm glad.
I'm
grateful.
I haven't heard vape shaming in a while.
Yeah, but it has occurred.
You're not doing it right because you're not using the same thing that I'm using. It has.
Because everybody's.
So it says here, Dayton. Most teenagers would quit vapes if they were no longer flavored. A study from Ohio State University concludes, but the owner of an area smoke shop is not so sure about that finding. More than 400 children visit Smokers Plus Vapes looking for flavored vapes. The number one seller at the tobacco shop in Wilmington Avenue and blah, blah, blah by Rabbi Ahmed, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. A lot of them, like everybody, started on e-cigarettes only, he said, noting he sells roughly 80 to 90 per day. The Ohio State study involved more than 1,400 teenagers, 14 to 17, and asked them if they would continue to vape if there were no flavors. Nearly 40% said they would stop if tobacco menthol-flavored e-cigarettes were the only options. More than 75% said they would quit altogether if tobacco was the standard available. I don't think so, Ahmed said in reaction to the study's findings. They're gonna be stopping smoking because they already have the taste built up. They're going to be stopping smoking because they already have the taste. I don't know what that means. Steve Salmons of Dayton said he thinks he's addicted to flavors. I can't disagree that with the fruit in your flavors and the better flavors. What? I can't disagree that that the fruit of your flavors and the better flavors, kids don't want to smoke cigarettes because they taste bad. I can definitely say that. Salman said he has a 16-year-old sister who fits the demographic of the study. She's never smoked a cigarette in her life. I don't think she ever would. But now she smokes these vapes and stuff like that because of the flavor. They could have fixed his grammar at least.
No.
Salman said,
this is my local news here. This is my local news. These fuckers don't know what they're doing.
Salman said while he sees how flavors can be targeted toward children, parents should be having more conversations with their children about the dangers of vaping. I don't think a lot of parents pay as much attention to children as they used to and stuff. When I was a kid, if I tried to do one of those, my mom would have found it in my drawer or something like that. Ahmed said that all the controversy connected to e-cigarette, particularly the flavored ones, he would not be surprised if the FDA bans them entirely. Right now, the FDA bans only the flavored cartridges for e-cigarettes.
Patrick.
So, water is wet, Kevin.
I got a little meme that says it's the advertising, it's the flavors, it's the nicotine, it's the advertising, and I cross them out and I keep on going. Now, if these kids are willing to just stop what they're doing, it's clearly not the nicotine, right?
If they can quit so easily, Kevin, then all this nonsense about how nicotine is as addictive as heroin must be nonsense, right?
So are you alluding to the fact that nicotine's not addictive? Because they didn't even say. I don't even think the word nicotine is in this.
I think it's habit forming. I would not call the word. I would not say addictive.
I'll say I'll use
I will say that, like I said, if it was so easy to quit, and all these kids are saying that they would quit because they only are doing it because of the flavors, and they could just so easily quit just because the flavors are no longer available. It seems to me that they've defeated their own argument by saying that it's so easy. These kids are just going to quit. So just make them quit and leave the options for the adults.
But 5 minutes ago, you've got people that want you to let your children take a very dangerous drug to stop vaping. So I don't like, and part of the reason we're here, to me, at least for me, I think I'm speaking for Patrick and anybody else who comes on as well, is to educate you into understanding how brainwashed the public really is. Because this is an example of.
You're going to love the last segment of the show, Kevin.
No, I'm not.
Let me go over here to Rumble real quick and make sure that these people are not lying to me about, I officially have 7 followers now.
No way. See?
Yeah.
God. Well, they can stop with straws, but then now they're going to ban straws. NCI says you got to use straws. Breathe easy through the straw. It'll help you quit smoking. And now the ash fuckers want to ban straws. So how you what? I repeat, I do not do interviews. By the way, Mr. Orlando, I noticed.
I currently now have the option for live streaming.
Well, kick the button. Nick, I noticed.
No,
and
it won't go through here it'll only show me. I have to figure out how to integrate it with this, but now at least I have that option.
Mr. Orlando, I saw the interview with Mike, and that was a very enjoyable show. Anyway.
With Mike? Oh, Mike. Yeah, Mike Peterson is streaming again, and
the delectable Mr. Peterson.
I'm kind of annoyed with him that he
you should be watching that show with Nick. I think you'd enjoy it. Could, might, maybe. I don't know. It's up to you.
You notice that he didn't. He was told whenever you're ready.
Bring him
We've
on.
got a space
Call him
for
up.
you. Yeah, I see that. And did you see that Nick just, jumped the boat? He's always, they used to do a show for, us.
Yeah.
You see how they stabbed us in the back, Kevin?
No, you.
Or me. Well, I got it. Yeah, we'll see. All that time I supported you guys and it gave you a home and
this wee bullshit.
So this next piece is for you, Nick. This next piece is for you. Just saying. E-cigarettes are thought to be less harmful, but that doesn't mean they're harmless. One of the unfortunate side effects of vaping can be hair loss. That's just for you, Nick.
Oh, the great girl broad's in the room.
I see the lovely Skip Murray has entered the fray.
I'm extremely concerned about Skip's hair now. I just am.
Well, I'm concerned for Mallory and Leah's as well, because Leah is in Twitch. Do you see Leah's been watching this whole time in Twitch?
She's pissed off because she's still got to keep shaving her legs. She already told me. I don't know.
Well, the only place that I really care that they shave is their pits for some reason. I don't care so much about the legs. It doesn't. But the pits. That's most important. That's very important.
That was an important show, Mr. Orlando.
I'm just saying.
So you can't. Skip's in the room. Should we try to behave or just be worse?
I think Skip expects us to be bad.
Oh well, that's true. I still love you, Skip.
I'm
Addie. I'm concerned.
Addie, I don't remember. I have to go find the video of Addie again. I can't remember. Does he have hair? I think he has hair.
William, you leave Fig alone. He's an exception. I can't imagine that you have this little business that you have to come into the e-cigarette fold and say this. It could.
No, I'm just wondering what Natural Transplants is actually thinking, though, because they're saying that vaping can cause hair loss, but then they have this guy with a full, thick, luxurious head of hair and a full beard in their advertisement.
Find the fun. There you go. Not theirs.
So, look, there's Richard.
Mm-hmm.
Richard's got a full head of hair.
I didn't see that one. That's awesome. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then Charlie, and then Courtney Love, who was a spokesperson for Enjoy back in the day. Her hair's falling out apparently.
Yeah. I guess maybe Mallory's given me an idea. Maybe people are shampooing with their nicotine vapes. I don't know.
No, look at all these handsome young men with no hair. Look at that. Now, if I could be Bruce Willis, if I could be Bruce Willis before he, got Alzheimer's, I would shave my head. I don't have, but he has all these fellas have good shaped heads. I don't have a perfect. My head is not shaped to be completely bald.
I need do-overs, Skip. I really do.
Oh no! No, Ken. No, Ken.
Are they risk-free and harmless? Look at Damien. Look at Damien. Go back up. You fucker. What are you going so fast for?
Are the procedures you offer for hair transplants completely risk-free? Why are you laughing so hard? That's not that funny.
It's hilarious.
It's not. I mean, it's a little humorous, but it's not like gut chuckle like you're doing there.
Yes, it is.
I'm just walking.
There's Addie. Oh shit! There's more than I thought there was.
Oh. Monkeys flew from my butt, and I grew an extra toe when I started vaping 11 years ago. Now the monkeys are my friends, and I can easily pick things up with my feet. See? And there's Addie.
Oh.
Again, more Addie. See, Addie is just a phenom on the vaping
yes.
Twitters.
Sources?
Yeah.
Is that you?
No. That's that guy?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but he's an actor.
I don't know.
Oh, and then that's bullshit.
Well, that's what it
Phil
is.
Salt. You know, all the guys named Phil are a little bit salty. You notice that?
Except our rodent.
This is definitely the funniest tweet I've read all week. Seriously, you guys could do stand-up comedy. Fig was actually, I spoke to Fig last week. And he was in the chat room for a little while last week, but then he went to go fly a drone. So you're seeing all the memes, and there's quite a lot more replies than what. I mean, Captain Cumulus is here.
Way more than I thought.
Yeah.
Wow.
Suck my bald head, you turds. Vape or die. How about ingrown toenails causing vaping caused that as well? Y'all just a bunch of twat waffles making up shit. Yeah. I don't see twat waffles enough.
It's very rare, actually. It's almost as rare as a child smoking.
Oh, now let's see. There's an offensive one. Let's see. What a stupid, unfounded tweet. And so they labeled this tweet as
offensive,
possibly offensive and triggering. What absolute rubbish and zero evidence. This should be pulled for false advertisement. The main ingredient is also you absolute. So neither one of these tweets is what I would consider to be offensive but apparently that is being not negative, but apparently voicing a differing opinion is considered hate speech now.
Now, I'm not having trouble with the hair, guys. I shave it pretty high and tight, if you will.
High and tight now. I don't want it all dangly anymore, so I'm not 12. So I've never cared. I mean, I've already got red hair. Who gives a shit? So I never really cared about if I go bald. I'll just put a hat on. But I do know, and my mother had this problem. She would wear I call it a kerchief or a scarf or a bandana. She'd do her little thing, and she was heavily embarrassed by it. And I didn't think it was as bad as she portrayed it to be, but it was noticeable. But she was in her 70s by then, So I don't literally find hair loss itself as humorous, but boy, I had to I did have to call Nick out. I really had to, because I had to. It was a thing. So Kevin, have you
out of love?
Have you selected a tweet for this week's Vape Cats tweet of the week?
It's like picking the top guitarist. This is hard for me to do. So I have a runner-up, and and actually Michael's was a runner-up. I mentioned it rather than showing it. I have two.
So give us your contestants. Give us your your two here.
So let me give
because mine is very powerful and it's short and sweet.
You leave thing alone. I think I just lost a hair.
Are you frozen? I think Kevin's frozen just from trying to share a tweet. Kevin. His poor little computer can't even share a screen without locking up. I bet you $10 he didn't restart his computer before we started. Clear his RAM. Because, yeah. See, I got a spinny wheel here for his share screen. Poor Kevin. He's got the dangle clacks. Yep, there he went. Scared him away. So we'll wait a minute and see if he comes back. He may have hard locked his computer though. It could be dead. Could be a tumor. So I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna beat Kevin to the punch here. I'm gonna show my Vapecast tweet of the week. It's very short, but I think it says everything that it needs to say. This is from Philip Kirschberg, and it says it's an actual quote from Alex Wodek. So I don't know, should I give credit to Alex or should I give credit to Philip? But it says, people smoke for the nicotine, but die from the hostility to tobacco harm reduction. I think that says everything that it needs to say. And every day, Philip says, this statement becomes more accurate with each passing hour. So that would be my contestant for tweet of the week. Since Kevin locked up trying to share his. Try it again, Kevin.
StreamYard said it might be us. It actually said that message right on it. Let's try it again.
Yeah.
So I'll go back with her.
It's
first.
not a Duma.
Oh, crap. I lost another hair. Southern Vapor, anyway. I didn't know how far I got to this. She's at 8 years now, living life to its fullest. The reason for this is that the CDC has said that you have a journey on your quit smoking world.
Mm-hmm.
So I made a comment. She commented on me. Let me go now I have to stop sharing, or can I flip onto the other one?
If you have the tab open, you might be, depending on if you shared the screen or if you shared a specific tab.
Nope. Share screen. So this one, I'm going to butcher the last name. Maria Papionoyoi, I think.
Oh, I know who that is.
Okay. She's
Canadian.
Okay, Canadian.
I think she's Quebecois.
Yep. I don't see her very often, and I don't know why offhand. She's at 9 years. It's kind of a theme, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
You got Michael, you got 8 for Southern Vapor, now you got 9 for this one for August.
Oh no, she's not a Quebecer. She's from Toronto.
Oh, is it Toronto?
I knew she was Canadian, though.
So this is why I'm on Twitter right here. This is, along with the other frivolities. It's this August, my 9-year anniversary of fighting for access to vaping products. It was in August I realized that politicians, public health officials had really given up on adults who smoke. And she goes on with her journey, if you will. And they passed a bylaw that would ban things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll try to not crash and put it in the chat in a second after I stop sharing. But it's amazing to me that now we're on, 10 for Michael, 10 for me, 13 for you. There's progress being made, and none of us have gone back to smoking. And
see, the thing is our enemies don't consider that progress because we haven't progressed to nothing. Because they don't understand that some of us want the added benefits of, neuroprotectivity and mental focus and, antidepressant characteristics of vaping.
Yeah. So
they don't consider that progress. They consider that stagnation or doing the same thing because they often say there's no such thing as tobacco harm reduction.
Or a lateral move, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't like that either.
Well, you're just giving one addiction away for another. Well, one of them
But you're
will
not-
kill 50% of the people that use the product, while the other one apparently has only killed one person, according to a mother from South Carolina.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So this has everything to do with us, Kevin, but it's not directly about us.
Okay, I'm ready.
So there's this thing that occurred during the thing that we can't talk about.
Yeah.
So it's called the Virality Project. Virility. Anyway, it's about viral stuff. So here it is. This is a project that was started by government agencies and a college. I'm trying to remember what university it is. But anyway, this was about the use of social media and government intervention to stop information from being disseminated on the internet. I'm trying to be very careful, Kevin. The Virility Project. So anyway, they worked with government agencies and social media to prevent certain things from being. It was Stanford University. Certain things from being said or shared on the social medias. Specifically, information, regardless of whether it was true or not, that would discredit organizations. So Reason did a piece on this in March. And I did not see this until I saw another YouTuber talking about this in reference to the thing that we can't talk about, or our channel will get blocked.
Yeah, because censorship's not a thing for anything.
But the reason I bring this up is because the infrastructure is now there. These government agencies, these social media people, and public health organizations have all linked up together and now have an infrastructure in place that would allow them to control what is disseminated and what isn't disseminated. What is allowed and what isn't allowed.
What do you call that, Patrick? It's on the tip of my tongue.
Well, I would call it censorship, Kevin. I would call it.
Is that a police state?
I would call that
a police state.
A dystopia.
A double plus good police state.
Yes. Newspeak.
Psychotic nanny state.
Yeah. So it says here, researchers pressured Twitter to treat that thing as misinformation. So if you scroll down here, and this all has this is about research that Matt Taibbi has done. You remember Matt Taibbi, right? This would definitely be a RICO violation, Addy. But it says here, researchers at Stanford University, in partnership with several nonprofits that have received government funding, worked with social media platforms to flag and suppress commentary on that thing that we can't talk about, that contradicted public health officials' stances, even when that commentary was true. This new information comes from yet another Twitter files entry of screenshotted emails and reports from independent journalist Matt Taibbi that reveals the back and forth between Stanford-led Virality Project and receptive Twitter executives. This is before Elon, about policing alleged stuff that we can't say, misinformation on its platform. So beginning in February of 2021 and continuing with regular reports, this Virality Project researchers encouraged Twitter to expand its misinformation policies to include true reports of side effects, criticism of passports for that thing, for their imposition of rights and freedoms, and even discussion of legitimate scientific research on breakthrough infections on natural immunity. So I'm not going to sit here and read the whole thing, but it is one of those. This is worrisome because, like I said, the social media or companies, the public health people, already the pathways, the communication lines, whatever you want to call it, are already set up for blocking information that they don't want people to know. So they will amplify things that say what they wanted to say, and they will block users from saying things that they don't want anybody else to hear. You were going to interrupt me there. I was just giving you an opportunity.
Oh, this is literally no different than what they're doing to us. Literally no different.
Yeah. No, this is exactly the same.
We just haven't caught them all yet. Deanna has, but we haven't caught them all. And again, Rico, duh. So there you go.
So there's this is the Twitter files number 19, and this is the full thing. So they have emails and screenshots of these people telling social media to block comments that have anything to do, whether true or not, the misinformation that they are spreading. So this is one step away right here. True content which might promote vaccine hesitancy. Stories, viral posts of this is them telling Twitter, block this regardless of whether it's true or not. And these are all Facebook, Twitter, Medium, TikTok, Pinterest, all of these different social media platforms, the major 6 apparently, all agreed. This story, number 8, this story is important for 2 reasons. One, as Orwellian proof of concept, the Virality Project was a smash success. Government, academia, and an oligarchy of would-be corporate competitors organized quickly behind a secret unified effort to control political messaging. So all you have to do is replace the words that I can't say, because then we'll get flagged, with just place vaping in those sentences, and you can. They already have everything in place for people like Michael Bloomberg, for people like Campaign for Tobacco, people that have money and cachet and whatever you want to call it to control narrative. They've been controlling narratives, don't get me wrong, and they've had some success with silencing some people. YouTube has demonetized videos. They've done things, but they haven't gone full bore like this, like they did on that thing that we can't mention. Literally, they have everything in place.
Patrick, who picks Stanford as the ones? Why are they the ones? Why wasn't it?
Somebody gave them a grant. They apparently made a proposal and somebody said, "Here's some money, go
So
for
money
it."
changed hands. Money
I'm
changes
sure.
hands. Narratives gets changed, and bad things happen.
Yeah.
And nobody
So
cares.
Leah, I'm not sure if you noticed this or not, but we actually have gone ahead and gotten the Rumble channel set up, so you could theoretically next week, now that we have enough followers, be streaming on that platform as well, since you have quit the YouTubes. So share it to your friends. Get your friends to follow that channel, because that's something that we could work on. But yes, I mean, I'm frightened at the idea that they already have. They don't have to even work hard, Kevin. That's the thing. They don't even have to work hard to make this happen now.
I've said to you, physically to you, and I think Fig was on at the time, they already have a network in our world of the anti-stupidity people that, for God's sake, you fuckers, I'm trying to help you. Stop being stupid. So they already have a network just like we do. And you go, troll this tweet or whatever it is. And they go, don't let that happen. Take them down.
What are you talking about, a network, Kevin? We don't communicate behind the scenes.
Well, we're generally we're not really as well organized as they are, but they have that already.
They have the opportunity to make all sorts of
they have the
friends. They can they can pay people.
Money.
We can't pay people.
Money.
Not at all.
So no matter what, I'm trying to help them from looking as stupid as they're going to eventually. They will, and I hope I live long enough to see it.
I don't know. It's possible.
I'm planning on it. That's my plan. You stupid asses. Just a couple chuckleheads, no better than most people. That's all.
Yeah. So, I got this one here is the last thing in the show notes, Kevin.
What?
Yes, we've
what?
We've
Have
made
you
it
lost
through.
any more hair tonight?
No. I still have mostly a full head of hair.
Give me
I
a plus
do have
one if
some
you've lost any hair.
male pattern baldness, but I am 51, so I get a little bit of a receding hairline going on, but
and I'm
no bald
55
spot.
and a
I got
half.
But
I don't have a little hole in my
but
head
you're
yet.
thinning.
No.
You're thin. You got a little bit of a.
thinning.
You got a little bit of a
Patrick, it's
thinning
short.
spot
When
there,
it's
but-
long, go look at some old videos. I've got more
that's
fucking
because
hair
the
than I
long
want.
hair flop. That's like a comb over. That's you just.
I've been pretty lucky
when
on
I
the
was
hair
a kid.
part. Yeah.
When I was a kid, my dad would put Brill cream. That was the thing.
A little devil
And
do you?
he had he had one of the hair over here was like this long, and it would and then he would put the Brill, and it would stick. It would stick together. And he had a problem with sneezing. Like he had these really like full powered sneezes, and he never could sneeze just once. It would be like 4 or 5 sneezes. So he would sneeze, and then the hair yarmulke would flop open like this, and then it would fall back, and then he would
flip it up.
And my aunt, who is a hairstylist, a beautician, one day, when he wasn't looking, she walked up and, like, in one snip, cut the entire hair yarmulke off.
Ooh. Did she live?
And told him that he needed to grow the fuck up. Everybody knew that he was bald. So
I have a relative who does have a hairpiece, and sometimes he wears it, sometimes he doesn't. Yeah, a hairpiece.
Hairpiece?
Herpiece.
He's got a herpiece?
Yeah.
What movie is that in? It's a Cheech and Chong movie.
So
where the guy has hairpiece. He has hairpiece.
If your personal appearance is something that you're concerned about, do what you want to do. It's okay. I don't care if you wear a hairpiece. I don't give a fuck.
I'm very concerned about your personal appearance, Kevin.
Well, I try to clean up as best I can.
You're a ginger, right?
Oh,
you know
yeah.
that. Yeah. So there's this thing that's going on in pop culture, specifically in like geek culture and comic books and things like that. They call it ginger side. So there is a current trend to race swap existing comic book characters for films, and even in the comic books, replace them with somebody of a different ethnicity because it's popular. But it's always the gingers in the comic books that get replaced by people of different ancestry. So the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the comic books, they have replaced April O'Neil. If you remember the comic book, she was a redheaded young lady. She's now an African-American lady. Batwoman in the comic books is a beautiful woman with long flowing red hair. She was replaced in the TV show by an African-American young lady. And so on and so forth. You'll notice that Jimmy Olsen was replaced again by somebody of all the gingers are being replaced. So I just thought I'd let you know that we might recast you in the future. The role of Kevin might be replaced by Chris Gardner.
There you
go. Because he has a wonderful sense of humor, a beautiful smile.
There you go.
But
there you go.
I will wait to make that announcement at a later date.
You know, there's National Kill a Ginger Day, by the way, just so you know.
Really?
Right. Yeah, I heard about it like 2 years ago. And I'm like,
is that like the Purge? Is that like the Purge where it's legal? Like,
I guess.
That would be pretty cool. We could go around knocking off all the gingers. I mean, that would be
I'll
okay.
shoot you back. I don't care. I'll shoot you back.
No.
I
was always taught, sir, one shot, one kill. I was, there's no wounding. I was not taught to wound.
I never heard of it until a couple of years ago. A friend of mine heard it, and he called me, and he's like, "Hey, I'm supposed to kill you," and I'm like, "What? Why?" Just out of the blue kind of shit.
Huh?
Oh, by the way, some of my red is graying, so it's okay.
Some
down here, it's not up here.
Well, but your face is older than your head. I mean, the hair on the top of your head is.
Yeah, it's like I'm two.
Yeah. I think you're putting something in there too. I think you're.
Jesus. No.
I think you're.
I can't spend money on that kind of stupid. Well, to me,
Clairol or whatever. But here, this one will make you laugh.
All right.
Wilkes-Barre teen arrested for stabbing minor in vape cartridge deal gone wrong.
Well, did the paved girl show up and give condolences? Huh.
Yeah, an 18-year-old man. So it says 18-year-old man, Kevin.
See, he's an adult now. Huh.
So 18-year-old man, not an 18-year-old child, not an, 18-year-old man from Wilkes-Barre was arrested after police say he stabbed a minor, not a coal miner, but a child, somebody under the age of 18, during a vape cartridge transaction. Andy Alexander Santana's a great guitar player, was arrested on charges of assault after police were able to track him down following the alleged stabbing. According to an affidavit on July 11th around noon, officers from Dallas Township Police Department were dispatched to a report of a juvenile that had been stabbed at the country club apartments. The juvenile's mother told police that her son was supposed to be going to the laundry room and was expected to return to the apartment. Look at the puppy dog. However, when police interviewed a witness at the scene, the juvenile was allegedly spotted walking over to a red-colored sedan, first to the passenger side, then to the driver's door. The juvenile leaned into the car, jumping back, stumbled, and ran away. The witnesses heard a male voice from the vehicle say, "You got him!" The red sedan left the apartment complex. That same day, police interviewed the juvenile victim. There, he told police he had contacted a man through Instagram to purchase THC vaping cartridges, giving the man the location of the complex. The man allegedly messaged the juvenile a picture of the apartment outside, notifying him that he was there. The location of the photo was consistent where the first witness had said they spotted the sedan, and the affidavit said while the juvenile approached the passenger side, he was told to go to the driver's side to make the exchange. The juvenile paid the man $55 in exchange for one cartridge. However, when he reached inside for another, the driver began to back up the car, resulting in the juvenile striking him. That's when the driver stabbed the juvenile in the arms and chest. He fell back and ran away. So, shouldn't they arrest both of these people, Kevin?
Well,
one guy for stabbing the other guy and selling the vape cartridge, and the other for purchasing an illegal product. Shouldn't you get them both? No. I mean, I feel bad for the one getting stabbed, but and the stabber, Santana, was arraigned, and he is in prison because he doesn't have $150,000 for bail.
Huh. So he's an adult, and the other one's a kid. Huh. 18.
Yeah, I mean, you get child abuse there. I mean, but it says he's a man, Kevin. He's 18. He's a man.
Age of majority kind of thing.
Yeah. Huh. So again,
he's legally responsible for himself.
Shouldn't they have said somewhere in the headline marijuana vape cartridge or
no
something? No.
That doesn't add to their frivolity, Patrick.
Yeah. Addie says that he really likes the Cheech and Chong ads that are constantly on Twitter. They are absolutely constantly on my feed, Cheech and Chong.
They are mine
and
too.
Since I like Cheech and Chong, it doesn't bother me because, I think that they deserve to have monetized the fuck out of all of their pot smoking humor over the years. Some of the funniest, Dave's Not Here is still one of my favorite things ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Basketball Jones.
I'm with the guy at the wedding. I'm if I go bald or gray, I'm going to go bald or gray. I don't care. I know it's easy for me to say because I haven't, but when I do, if I do, then that's what happens.
I still say that that's just a red magic marker, Kevin. I really think that you're just drawing that on.
Well, I have Logan. I hold him up real high, and then he just colors me over. That's all. That's what it is.
So I'm wondering, Kevin, are you purposefully are you doing this for a reason? Because are you interested in more beatings and strip searches and tasing and perversion?
Well, I do like content. I'm kind of glad you showed that. Now scroll down to my girls, because the girls are important. They're concerned about the hazards, and I'm just pointing out that there are hazards to vaping that include pedophilia and all the other bullshit that see yeah. Imagine that
brutality.
Imagine that. See, I didn't see all this.
A cop choking and punching a guy to the floor. We showed that whole bit.
Yes, we did. So, and that's the one I found it from was Kerson, I guess is her name. Kerson? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So one of the girls.
No. Well, yeah, my question like that is the things I like to see. Charlie did one. He asked the Mayo Clinic a question. He asked a set of 3 questions, actually, I think. And then they hid his replies. Now, if you're putting fear of God.
he was asking the Mayo Clinic for specifics about the study that they're conducting, and they hid his replies because they don't want anybody to know what the design of their experiment or their study is.
But Patrick, say you're going to come to my house and fix my plumbing.
No,
and
because
I say, how are you going to do that?
If the science is conducted behind closed doors, then they can say the results are anything they want them to say, Kevin. They don't want scrutiny.
You're saying they can control the narrative. Is that what you're saying?
Of course, yes.
Regardless of the outcome.
Plus, they can get with Stanford. They can get with Stanford, and Stanford can push their virility, framework to control any information that gets shared on social media.
So money's exchanged and emails exchanged. Boy, that sounds like RICO to me.
Yeah, it does.
Huh. Therein is my point as to how the RICO Act is effective in our situations in a lot of ways. I don't need validation for it. It's just there. And it's underlying.
I'm publicly today declaring that if Robert Kennedy does run for president, that I'm going to vote for that guy.
I'm voting for George Carlin.
I think he is going to be the funniest president we've ever had.
And that's why I'm voting for George Carlin.
Not specifically because of the way he talks, because he does have a speech impediment that's related to a health condition that he had. Yeah. But I mean, this guy.
It'll be fun. You think it'll be cocaine?
He's super physical. He's for his age. He's extremely physically fit for his age, and he does not have a problem taking his shirt off and showing everybody his muscles, which I think would be funny. Yeah. You know, if he gets on stage with Trump, he can say, "Hey, if your doctor says you're healthy as a horse, take off your shirt and show everybody your man boobs." Not only that, but like I think he's one of those. He believes in aliens, which I think would be hilarious. You know, he's a little bit wacky. He is.
Is he round earth or flat earth?
He is anti-childhood vaccinations, which I think is kind of kooky.
Oh well, all right.
He never, and not in addition to but childhood vaccination like measles, mumps, rubella, polio, those vaccines. He's against those as well. So I think we would have a very interesting 4 years with that guy as president.
I just don't. Is he flat earth or round earth? Do you know?
He's probably a flat earther, But the funny thing is I saw an interview with him this week, and apparently they had asked Trump what his opinion on Kennedy was, and he said nice things about Kennedy, even though they would be political opponents.
Yeah.
And the interviewer said, "Well, what do you think about Trump saying nice things about you?" And he said, "Well, I like that he said nice things about me,
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, you're not appalled that he said nice things about you?" And he's like, "Well, don't you like people saying nice things about you?"
Oh, good Lord. See, because they wanted a reaction, and all they got was a fact.
That's like, it's like when Trump did his little town hall thing. And again, I'm not a Trump fan, but they did ask him a question about this Ukrainian-Russian war thingy. And they said, "Well, who do you hope wins?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, I don't care. I just want people to stop dying."
There you go. That's it.
And they somehow turned that into, well, you have to pick a side. He's like, "No, I just want people to not die." And
there's what I liked. Right.
And I'm like, I could care less who wins that, because if you actually know the history of both of Zelensky and Putin, neither one of them are respectable people.
Right.
So there's not a good guy and a bad guy. It's two bad guys.
Yeah.
And the people that live, the poor people on both sides are the ones that are being victimized. Those are the ones that are suffering from this thing. But we did just barely avert World War III this week.
This week? Oh shit, I missed that.
Because
Which part was that?
They had their little NATO gathering, and Zelensky was there, and NATO had the opportunity to invite Ukraine into NATO. Now, the thing is America, we signed a treaty with Putin, an actual treaty where we agreed never to recruit Ukraine into NATO. We promised that would not happen. Now, the president that signed that treaty, he's not president anymore, but that treaty still stands, right? I mean, if we make a peace treaty with somebody, we make an arrangement with somebody, it is our responsibility to live by our word, right? So the same president that signed that treaty immediately started trying to woo Ukraine into asking for membership into NATO. So the last thing that we should be doing, and I don't want to get like too many people pissed off or whatever. There might be people that support Ukraine, and I'm not supporting Ukraine. I don't want anybody to die either. But the last thing that we need to be doing is poking the bear by, that Ukraine is meant to be sort of a push in between NATO and Russia. And if we turn the Ukraine into a NATO country, then we are obligated by treaty to defend them. So they're currently being invaded by another country. If we suddenly let them into NATO, then we would be by treaty obligated to send troops and tanks and missiles and all the things. And I guarantee you, if that happened, it would be a bad day. It would be a bad day.
Yeah.
So, again, all you people that want to stand with Ukraine, go ahead and stand with Ukraine and send them positive vibes. But don't ask us to go to World War III fighting for Zelensky. The goal should be to save as many people as possible and to prevent death. And if that means that Putin and Zelensky need to get together and sign some sort of armistice and agree to disagree for the rest, for the rest of history, at least more people wouldn't be dead. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who wins or loses as long as it stops and people stop getting shot and dying.
Yep.
But anywho, I'll get off my soapbox now. So Kev, we've actually completed all of our content, unless you have something that you wanted to mention or cover.
No, nothing earth-shattering.
Yeah.
Just that I'm trying to save these idiots from being embarrassed, and they just keep continuing to do so without really thinking about it. They just do it. That's sad.
So
I think we all are.
Again, I don't know that I mentioned this last week or not, but there is a film that is currently being played in the movie theaters. It's called The Sound of Freedom. And it is being portrayed by people in certain aspects of the media as being some sort of QAnon conspiracy lie thing. Now, from what I understand, this movie is about child trafficking and based on a real story, based on a person that does exist. And I haven't seen it. I really want to see it now, so that I can form my own opinion. But the people that made it, they made this movie for $15 million. For a big Hollywood type movie, $15 million is nothing.
Nothing.
But it's done quite well in the movies right now. It's like number 2 or 3 this week since the 4th of July.
Is it what is exactly is it about? Child trafficking?
It's about child trafficking. So the guy that played Jesus in the Passion of the Christ, Jim Caviezel, plays a guy who used to work for Homeland Security, and he was in the Department of he was like, his job was to investigate child trafficking cases, and apparently he had spent years trying to build a case against this ring of child traffickers, and they just kept like outsmarting him. They were, they could never get any hard evidence, and eventually Homeland Security said, "We're pulling you from this case because you haven't developed any concrete leads or anything that we can actually prosecute. So we're going to put you in something else." And he said, "No, I'm just going to retire." And he turned around and continued this case, and apparently was able to save hundreds of people from this, and apparently was quite successful as a citizen, but couldn't get the information that he needed if he had to follow their rules, apparently. Yeah. So I want to see this movie, and I'll, if I get time this week, I'm going to go see this because I want to be able to tell you guys whether or not I think it's a good film or not. I won't sit here and say that it's a Hollywood movie that's based 100% on fact, because all films that are based on history are still, edited. But I can't understand why anybody would criticize a movie that's trying to draw attention to something that everybody is horrified by.
Well, because them kids are vaping.
Other than the fact that it was produced by a religious production studio, but the same people that there's a TV show, Kevin, that's been on for 2 or 3 years now called The Chosen, which is a TV series that is based on the lives of the apostles after the death of Christ, which apparently is really good. I purchased it, but I haven't watched it. So it's a religious movie studio that made it. So a lot of people are bashing it just because it's put out by a religious organization or a religious a bunch of Christian guys. Apparently, if Christian people make it, it must be a QAnon wet dream or whatever they're calling it. But anyway, I invite people to be open-minded enough to look at themselves, to look for stuff, themselves, because I'm hoping that you all will become free thinkers.
I hope so. I imagine they all are.
Yeah. I think this week is San Diego Comic-Con. All my California friends go and get me, go get autographs at the comic convention for me. Because I'm not going to California.
Maybe the Atlanta mayor will be there for you.
Well.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
You got a Batman mask, Patrick. I'm telling you.
I got rules, man. I do not step foot in California. Never again. Other than the fact that Fig lives there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But can't do it.
No. Not me.
Bastard says NATO has a little rule about if you're fighting the war, you can't join. That's only if certain people want it to happen, it's going to happen. I don't care if they got rules or not. Yeah. Rules are meant to be broken.
Yes, they are.
But all right, Kev, how do you want to say goodbye to our friends tonight?
I say just be good to each other, be good to yourselves. That's what you need to do. Keep bitching on Twitter.
You know, some of you might be a little bit too good to yourselves. You need to stop that or you're going to go blind, is all I'm going to say.
Don't poke yourself in the eye. That's all.
So anyway, we'll see you in 7 days. And by next week, we will be on the Rumbles as well. So we have one more option for y'all that, you know, and if we play stuff that would normally get us banned on YouTube, I'm sure that Rumble will let us stay. So anyway, y'all be good. Have a good night. And let's end tonight with here. Let's do Miss Victor Altec.
Yes. Yes.
I'd like one of you bureaucrats out there to look me in the eye and tell me, when does my husband's life matter to you? Because it matters every day, every second of every day to me.